All right, welcome back to the Borough Sound podcast, recording live here at the UUIN Collective. I'm your host with the most, DJ Czar, aka Big Turk, aka Czar Guru, aka Young Pad Thai. And first and foremost, I'd like to say a big thank you for y'all for tuning in. This is my first and ironically my last episode of the year because I didn't do a whole episode in 2021. You know what I'm saying? Took a hiatus, lost some weight, got sexy, you know what I'm saying? But I'm back. And for my first guest back is honestly the best guest I could have asked for. I'm actually honored to have my first guest with me. One of Toronto's biggest upcoming talents. She's got lyrics. Ooh. She's got flows, vocals, dancing, modeling, stage presence, inspiration. Welcome to the show, Muva Cass.
Hello. What's up? I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited you're here. You know what I'm saying? We're good friends. I'm glad you came through. I know you're a busy girl. Holiday season. What does a Muva Cass Christmas look like? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do y'all do?
Well, I need Starbucks first and foremost.
Start the day with some Starbucks.
Some holiday season Starbucks.
Okay. No plug.
3 shots of espresso in there.
That's intense. That's a lot of caffeine. Whoa, wait. 3 shots of espresso?
Like 2 to
You're
3.
caffeine. You get venti. You get venti. That's 3.
Yeah,
no?
Sometimes.
That's impressive still.
Specifically for holidays.
Muva Cass has incredible caffeine tolerance. That is intense.
That's bad. That's actually so bad, but I gotta do what I gotta do.
Hey man, it gives you the energy, whatever you need.
A regular coffee's not doing it for the holidays. That's for sure.
Oh, okay. So you start with 3 shots of espresso in a beverage.
Okay, start with 2, and then I'll get another one like later in the day.
Okay.
So in total, like 5 for the whole day.
5 for the whole day. All right. And then how do you sleep? Like, wait, do you sleep?
No, it wears off. It actually wears off. But I try not to drink caffeine like after 6:30.
That's a pretty good life lesson.
Yeah.
Okay. Not after 6:30.
Yeah, because then it'll wear off and then I can sleep.
When you drink like a regular coffee, are you like, yo, what is this week? Like, if you have like a double or something, it's juice.
That's juice. That's just like, no. That's like if someone's being nice and offering me coffee, I won't get a latte. But
okay.
I need that espresso in my life to do all the things that I do.
Yo, shout out espresso. You know what I'm saying? Espresso is definitely game changing. I used to work at Starbucks. I definitely been on and off caffeine, but yo, when you get into like, I seen people who at Starbucks who would have like 3 ventis a day. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
that's
dang,
crazy.
Bro, that's like intense, but.
Before I drank espresso, I used to get like triples from like Tim Hortons.
Jeez, that's like a nice treat though.
I had it every day. Like I used to work like a corporate job.
Oh, okay.
So like I was in the office and Tim Hortons was at the bottom floor. So I used to buy like at least 3 triples a day. Yeah, that's some bad sugar.
But yo, those corporate jobs, like that coffee symbolizes more than coffee. It's like a break. It's freedom. It's like you need that coffee when you work those jobs.
I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna go get some coffee, and everyone understands.
It's acceptable. It's acceptable. It's like, he just went to get a coffee. You can even like, yo, anyone want a coffee? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like a part of corporate culture.
Oh my god.
So yo, man. We've obviously worked together in the musical sense. Like I've recorded some of your tracks.
Yes.
I know you have a next engineer. He's actually pretty good. So shout out to him. What's his name?
Dubs and Melberry.
Yeah. The mixes are clean still. I can't lie.
Yep.
So at what point does Muva Cass start taking music seriously in your life? And like, when did that like journey begin? And how did that journey look? Especially at the beginning.
Well, a lot of people don't know, but like I've always been like musically inclined, like since I was a kid. But I really started taking my music seriously and pushing it and releasing stuff 2 years ago. Okay.
Wow, only 2 years?
Only 2 years ago.
You've been putting out music. That's crazy.
Only 2 years ago.
Okay.
But I've been in the industry because, my team, Foreign Wave, Dubs, me and Dubs actually. If it wasn't for Dubs, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't even be making music because we started out together from like the 10th grade. We used to record in his basement in his house in Malvern. And, we were shit.
Say a word.
We sucked. We were still like, on the come up, but like he was the one who like created my sound and helped me find my sound. And like, from then, like 10 years ago, I always wrote music and kind of recorded on my own thing, but I never thought to like release music and like take it seriously. I think too, I just wasn't ready. Like, I feel like you definitely have to build your confidence in your craft before you really like put your all into it.
You gotta put in the hours. Like you can't just jump in kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's just like I just wasn't like 100% dedicated to it 10 years ago versus now, like 2 years ago, you know, I like hit rock bottom, like to the point where like, you know, I had my 2 kids. I tried to honestly, you know, use it more as like a therapy thing. So like I did have my own equipment when I just had my daughter.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids. If nobody knew that.
Lath and Zayna, right?
Yep.
Shout out Lath
and
and
my
Zayna.
dog, that counts as the 3rd baby. But
that dog's a beast, first of all.
He is. He's a big ass baby. But you know, like when I had my daughter, it was more so just for my own therapy and like my own healing. Like I would just write and record literally to escape like all the issues and like depression I was dealing with back then, which was like, you know, 6 years ago.
So was that always a thing? Like even in childhood, like if you were going through things, you'd kind of go towards music? Like was that a constant thing?
Yeah, I was writing music since probably I would say the 7th grade, 7th, 8th grade. I would just write down in like my journal and stuff like that. Even if I didn't have like a beat or anything, I would literally just write. I like before, you know, technology was crazy and like you have iPhones and notes and stuff like that. Like I had like endless amount of journals and notebooks and I just always wrote and kept writing. So like a lot of my songs that I have now are actually from stuff that I've written over like 8 years ago.
What?
Yeah. So it's
the same
like,
lyrics?
Some of them, and I've tweaked them, but for the most part, like the concept and like the draft of it has been stuff from like stuff I've written like years ago. And then I do have new stuff that I've written and like made on the spot in the studio. But I really started to push myself when I hit rock bottom. And I was like, you know, like as much as I don't have a choice, like I have to work and feed my kids and put a roof over their head. Like, you know, I was just like, I think it mainly hit me when the pandemic started was to really like put the gas on the pedal. Like,
like it's go time. It's like,
like I was pushing it before the pandemic, but when the pandemic hit, it was just like, all right, so if we die from this unknown thing, I can't say I didn't do what I loved, you know? So like before lockdown happened, I was putting the work in and hired a choreographer, shout out David, hired my 2 backup dancers, and I was like pushing to perform into small venues and doing shows and then releasing music.
So yeah, you did. I remember you kind of like had that momentum going into the pandemic, and I actually think even during the pandemic, you were able to kind of stay musically relevant. Like, what are some tips you give artists? Like, how do you adapt to being an artist post-pandemic?
I would definitely say, like, learning during the pandemic. Like, if the pandemic never happened, definitely it's just being active. Like, to be honest, it's crazy to say, but it's like social media is like your new resume when it comes to being an artist.
Literally,
like,
it's your portfolio.
You have to be active on social media. You have to be very consistent when it comes to like, you know, certain
Reels.
trendy, reels, TikToks, or even just posting consistently, you know, reaching out to other brands, doing partnerships, stuff like that. Like, that's what really gets you out there and consistent because everything's literally online right now. Like, clubs and stuff are opening up, but everything is like online.
It's like adjusted to, it'll always be online now, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, when you have people email you or labels or executives or other studios, the first thing they're going to look at is your social media. They're going to look at your Instagram. They're going to look at your Spotify or your iTunes. Like,
literally,
that is the first thing they're going to look at, you know? So it's like you kind of have to really create and like be solid on your image and how you want to like portray yourself as an artist.
That's true. And it is kind of sad to say because, you know, before it's like, you know, labels could find a talent and bring them up. But now it's like you're kind of expected to already have your marketing, have your fans, have your brand, everything. And then they'll kind of push you out. How do you like expand your fan base past people you know? Like, to me, that's something I've always like struggled with. It's like, you know, you have your local people. Sometimes random people will see your stuff, but how do you kind of capitalize on those opportunities and turn those people into fans and supporters?
Honestly, well, shout out first of all to like my good friends who've always supported my stuff and like, you know, whenever they go out, like, you know, playing stuff on their mixes or like even just going out to parties and like, you know, word of mouth.
Throw it back. You know what I'm saying?
But for sure, like I said, it's connecting. Like you really have to be active on social media, like, because at the end of the day, like, you know, like for example, my Instagram and my Facebook is open. It's an open profile. So really anyone
even
can
Facebook, eh?
Yeah, like anyone can reach out to me. And I've had, you know, I do have friends across the border in the States, and, you know, they've even came and drove down to Toronto from New York and like showed love, like came to my shows before the pandemic happened. And like, you know, this really keeping in touch with other people outside of your city, I think is huge. And just really putting yourself out there and like, just being relatable, I think is the main thing. Like, I feel like a lot of people, you know, on social media, they don't like showing the real side to their life. They just kind of show the
cool
good
stuff.
And like the good selfies. They don't
100%.
show like vulnerability. And I think that's what like naturally drew other people towards me and out of my friends and like my group of people and my team. Like just being like relatable. And like, of course, you know, because I do work in like downtown in the club, and I've worked there for like before I had my daughter and after I had my daughter, just in the club scene, just really like, you know, really putting yourself out there and like socializing with the right people and like, you know, getting to know DJs or getting to know other engineers. Like it's really just word of mouth and like having that confidence and putting yourself out there and be like, hey, I'm an artist, I make music, you know, like something like, you know, you just really gotta like, I guess, showcase that confidence, but still like, don't be afraid to be yourself in front of other people, you know, because I feel like first impression is everything. Like I've had people reach out to me from like New York or like Detroit and like, you know, they're just
what they say, like, yo, keep grinding, Muva Cass. Like, what they say?
They're regular people like everyone else. And like, you know, if you socialize and connect with them and respond to their DMs or their comments, like that keeps them, you know, interested, keeps them there.
Yeah, I do feel like, especially in America, they're always down to support someone on the come up. Like they're like, they look forward to like seeing the journey. Whereas here, it's like we look for the result of like, you're already kind of up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was going to ask this because you mentioned putting yourself out there. And I'm not sure if this is true, but you do strike me as like some of an introverted person. Were you always that person who like wanted the spotlight, the stage light? Like, did that come
No.
later in life? Like, how did that even emerge? Because now you fully put yourself out there. Like I see on IG, you know, like you're vulnerable with your fans. You're talking to them. And at the same time, when you're performing and you're dancing, it's very free and fluid. You're not like restricting yourself. So like, how did that desire for the spotlight even come about?
Honestly, I used to hate being on the spot. Like my parents obviously knew I had the talent from when I was young. They used to force me to sing karaoke, but like they used to like literally bribe me with money because I'd be like, no, I don't want to. Like I was actually a really shy kid. Like I was very quiet. It's hard to believe now, but like.
But you were good. Like everyone was like, oh, like she's like good. Like
my family knew that I sang and danced, but like I hate even family parties. Like I hated being put on the spot. But honestly, it was more of just me being insecure, to be honest. I used to be such an insecure person. Like in high school, like people knew that I sang, but like I was terrified. Like I remember my vocal teacher in high school. She used to like give me solos in the church choirs, like whenever you go to church, like once a month in high school.
You had a solo?
Yo, and she gave me a solo. I was like, oh my God. I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, I hope nobody looks my way. Like I used to be so freaking scared being put on the spot. Even like in preparation, like ahead of time, like I knew I was going to sing that solo like 3 days. And like that 3 days, I was like having a panic attack, but I'm like, I can't back out now. Like Miss David wants me to sing it. But like I used to actually be scared. Like I even remember my first video shoot when I did Know Your Type. Like I was actually very nervous. Like that was the first time, you know.
You got that same feeling, that same like. Do you ever feel like that before you go on stage, or do you feel like you're desensitized now because like now you're comfortable on stage because you were put in those like somewhat traumatic situations?
I'm
like
always nervous. Like I think I'll always have that little nervousness before I perform or do a video shoot.
Nervousness of what though? Is it kind of like anticipation, anxiety, like yo, let's do this, or is it like a fear? Is it like because you know, like I think even like a lot of UFC fighters before they go in the ring, they feel that fear. Even though like they got to come off as confident, it's like there is that sense of acknowledging something could happen right now. I'm putting myself like in a vulnerable position technically.
I think when it comes to performing, because it's live, that's where my anxiety comes from because, you know, you rehearse over and over and over.
For one moment, like, for like this one moment.
And that one moment, I'm like, this one moment, you better not mess it up. Everyone's watching. Like, or even just like, you know, it's hard. Like, I think people don't understand too, like when you dance and you perform, like, oh my God, you have to remember the choreography and then you also got to remember your lyrics.
That's a lot, bro. I don't even know how y'all do that.
At the same time, like it's not easy. And actually, the last performance that I had, I lost my voice the week before. So like I had a really, really bad cough and like my throat was killing me. And I'm just like, oh my God, what if I like throw the note off or like, you know, like, but you know, at the end of the day, you just got to work with what you got and improvise sometimes and kind of work around the situation. But truthfully, I've always been nervous. I just think I got better at it because I built my confidence into performing. But like, truthfully, it was not a natural thing. I'm not gonna
well, yo, you put in hours.
Natural. How do you do it? I'm like, I don't even know. Sometimes I just be praying, hope I don't fuck it up. Like, you know, like it's. I literally have to pray.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how good I am.
Every time I perform or do a video shoot, I always do a group prayer with everybody, and I'm like, all right, God's here, we here, we're gonna do this. I have to sometimes I take a shot before, depending on how high my anxiety is. But like, no, I can't. Shot
of what? What is like a shot? What kind of alcohol will calm you in that situation or kind of get you in the zone? Is like tequila. Okay, only tequila.
Anything else will spark my anxiety. No.
You think that's like your Mexican roots? Just like.
I guess so, man. I don't know. I always say like people look at me like, how do you drink? I'm like, it's like 85% of my body at this point. Like I can do that. I can't smoke before I perform though. That's another thing too. Like with my nervousness, I have to be for the most part sober when I perform.
Yeah, I prefer that too.
Do a video shoot. I don't want to smoke or like drink heavy like that.
You want to be on point, and then afterwards you celebrate. It's nice.
No, but a lot of people actually
they need it. They need it,
or they turn up. I can't do that.
No, it messes them. I don't know. I feel like. Obviously, like a man like Snoop Dogg, like he's always gonna be balling up throughout the day, so it's like probably is normal. You know what I'm saying? But like when people, it's like yo, right before the show, we need to pre and do this. I don't know. Personally, I can't do that. I feel like you shouldn't rely on it. But if whatever you need to do to get in your zone, and if it works, it works. Then I'm pretty sure most big artists probably like have a drink or like. But at that point, they're already loved, so it's like they have nothing to prove.
That's true.
So yo, I know you model, you know what I'm saying? I seen that little discount, you know, I seen something, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what it was, but I seen a code. And I'd consider you an influencer to an extent. But what is your ultimate goal? Like, what would a successful, happy career lifestyle look like for you? Is music and being a singer like a pathway or a medium to get to a certain goal, or is that the goal in itself to just have like this career?
That's the goal for sure. Music is the goal, but definitely, you know, before I took music seriously, like I was an entrepreneur, I had my own business. So it's like I've always had that like passion to be an entrepreneur and like go outside of the box out of music. When I do get big with music, like I want to be able to, you know, start up my own business again, whether it's the same one or something new. I'm even working on something on the side too, like my own line, but it's going to take some time because I'm still focusing on music. But I've always had those like ambition and goals to do more than one thing. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm good at multitasking. But I've always genuinely loved partnerships with other businesses. And, you know, like I said, like, online is basically your resume nowadays, you know? So it's like, that's where the bag is. Online money is where the bag is. And it's just like, I've worked 2-3 jobs my whole life. I ain't trying to do that unless it's what I love, you know? Like, I have to because I have no choice right now.
Yeah.
But when I do have a choice, it's like I would still take on, you know, a business and
your own
partnerships
projects
and
like,
music. Yeah, but it's like, it's genuinely what I love doing.
Yes.
So I don't see it as a job.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely for sure, I want to be able to have different doors and opportunities open because of music. You know, like I love that I get to do photo shoots and support local businesses, and I get to, you know, support their product or their fashion line, and, you know, get those discount codes to help people out save money, because I love saving money too. Ooh. But, you know, I love it because I know how hard it is too. Like I have a super high respect for people who run their own business and are building something from the ground up, because I've been there and I was that person before, you know? So like I totally get and respect the grind. Like there's so many amazing entrepreneurs out in Toronto that, you know, I want to be able to make it up so that I can put those people on too. Like when it comes to even just rocking their fashion eventually, and like
would you put
music
me on?
Videos. Of course, man. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying. Like, also, like when you hear that song, I'm a boss ass bitch. Like, are you just like,
yeah,
do you
like,
resonate with that track?
I think too, it's just like I want to be able to inspire women and make sure, especially moms, like moms who are kind of put in a box and told like you kind of have to settle for your life because you have kids. Like I'm like, no, like if you want to, you know, rock a certain label or clothes or do something out of the box, like I want to, you know, show women that you can do that. Like you shouldn't limit yourself to just one thing.
We're definitely going to touch more on that. I'm going to take a quick break, you know what I'm saying? And we'll be right back.
Yo, Zar.
All right, welcome back to the Borough Sound. Joined with Muva Cass once again.
Ew.
And there's a couple things I want to talk to you about. And this is more on like the health and wellness side. First of all, like, I know you're into fitness and stuff, but one, what is the key to like bouncing back from like the baby bod, and how did you do that? Because like it does not even look like you had 2 youths. You know what I'm saying?
You know. Oh I definitely look like I had kids after I had kids, though. That was a rough time.
Were you chunky? I can't even imagine you chunky.
I gained like 50 pounds, like 50 to 60 pounds from my pregnancies. Like I could not fit in anything. Like I just went to Orpheus Road and bought like a bunch of like large sweatpants because nothing fit me. Like,
were you thick as though? Was it like in the right spots? Were you like, oh, I can kind of deal with this? Or was it like, oof?
Yeah, I was definitely thick in the right spots, but I'm like, I'm not used to this weight. Like I was always like, I was thick in high school, but then, you know, I got healthy and like was, you know, a lot of people don't know, but I went to school for holistic nutrition and personal fitness training. So
I did not know that.
Yeah. So, you know, I've been on the health and wellness journey for a long time, but, you know, I've experienced being overweight and unhealthy. And then, you know, when I had my kids, it's not that I was unhealthy. It just the baby weight, like carrying my kids and like, you know, it was hard. Like I really had to discipline myself. And a lot of moms actually, you know, have reached out to me in terms of postpartum and like how to bounce back. And people think that I bounced back like that. Like it was definitely a tough journey. And like, it's one thing when you have one kid, but when you have another kid after and they're 2 years apart, like that makes it harder to bounce back because, you know, you're tired. You're just, tired is an understatement. Hold up. I meant exhausted. Like you're exhausted. You're not sleeping.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, you know, keep a routine. Like I'm a very routined person. And I think having that discipline of routine is what really helped me bounce back and just really changing my lifestyle. Like I had to remind myself to be consistent even though I'm tired, like make time, even if it's like 20, 15 minutes of like starting off as just going on a walk outside.
Yeah.
And then slowly building that routine back is like the main thing. Because of course your main focus is taking care of the baby. But, you know, I honestly didn't bounce back and get into a solid routine when it came to fitness and, you know, like I've always eaten healthy. I think that too, of course, is like, that's like people are really fans of like diets and stuff. Me, I've more just gravitate towards like a healthy lifestyle in general. Just, basic things will make a huge difference, like reading ingredients.
Yeah,
and,
it's like principles, not rules. Like,
exactly. Because like I've never went on diets and I've never done fasting. Not that there isn't benefits to it. Like it's different for everybody. Like, but for me, like having kids, I was like, I ain't got time for that. Like, so it was more just being disciplined, like, not buying junk food in the house or doing takeout, like, doing meal preps or just, sticking to healthy food combining, like stuff like that is like just like the basic stuff to kind of get the ball rolling and then eventually be consistent to routine of like working out again. And, like I used to work out twice every day before I had kids. Like
twice a day?
Twice a day. Like I'd wake up at 5 a.m, go on a run, and then work out, and then get ready for work, and then go to work at like 8:30.
Okay, then, Kobe Bryant? Like,
and then I would come home from work, and then I would do it again. Like I would go out for a run after work. This is when I used to work a corporate job. And yeah, I would come home from the office, go on a run, do my same, routine, my workout.
You did 2 runs a day and 2 workouts a day?
Yeah.
Whoa, bro, and that is like hella impressive. How were your, like, were you eating a lot of calories or were you like under eating? Like, because you must have needed a lot for like that fuel.
Truthfully, I never calorie counted. I just more stuck to like whole organic food. Like I would literally just.
What's your go-to meal? Like, how like bros have like rice, chicken, and broccoli. Like what is Muva Cass's like bro meal? Like what is one meal that like for any stage of fitness like you could eat this all the time?
Truthfully, I love making like sandwiches, like avocado toast. Like that is the easiest thing ever.
Okay. I respect it.
Yeah, but if I'm talking like an actual like dinner meal, I think my go-to would probably be pasta.
Just straight up like spaghetti and meatballs, or like ground beef, like, or just no meat, just pasta. Like what are we dealing with?
For the most part, I only eat chicken. Here and there, I'll eat beef. I don't really eat red meat like that. Like sometimes I will, but not
I've been hearing more bad stuff about red meat. I personally love steak, so like I don't know, I'm thrown off. But
I love like seafood or chicken. Like that's like my go-to, like salmon or shrimp. Like I love seafood. I'll eat any type of seafood all day, every day. But yeah, I would definitely say pasta is like my go-to. Like my favorite one that I always make, my homemade Alfredo pasta.
Man, every girl from Toronto knows how to make Alfredo pasta. Like I feel like that's it. Like that's like, oh, my Alfredo pasta's so good.
Mine's
like,
the authentic.
My chicken
this
Alfredo.
Ain't the buy it classico.
Yo, buy it.
I don't do that. I do the fresh ingredients.
Everything buy it classical, bro. And then they just use that sauce and then they make the chicken and that's it, bro.
There's only one pasta sauce that I buy, and it's Simply Organics brand, and that's like a quick whip up for my kids if I'm like in a rush. But I like making everything from scratch. Like all my
so you
sauces,
do the real Alfredo, like
real Alfredo. Like use like the half and half cream and then the butter, browning the butter. I respect it. Well, because I work in the restaurant industry too, so like I've just always loved food, and like because I went to holistic nutrition school, like I tried to fray away from buying like pre-made stuff. Like I read the back of that shit and I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do this. I would just make it from scratch.
What kind of pasta, like what's your favorite type of pasta to use, like for Alfredo? Like do you just use like a specific fettuccine? Okay. Fettuccine's solid still, I can't.
If not, I use penne. I like penne too.
I feel like I don't like how the fork feels on penne. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, it just doesn't feel like you don't get that much grip. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, pasta is like my go-to, and like I use whole grain pasta for the
gluten
free.
Oh, gluten free. I do gluten free pasta too. It makes a big difference.
I'm very like big on gluten free and like local, organic. Like I think that's just like people honestly ask me how I bounce back. Like I just stick to eating clean. Like to be honest, like right now because I'm doing music and like having my kids and this whole pandemic and can't even go to a gym in peace, like can't even use my condo amenities, like it's literally like eating clean is what's been keeping me on the surface and keeping my bounce back the same. Like it's literally eating clean and just having that discipline. Like people think there's like this huge secret to it and that I like work out every single day. I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't working out every day.
You heard it here first.
Working out every day.
This girl used to work out twice a day, bro. So like, I feel like it balances out.
And then, before the pandemic, I was still working out consistently. Shout out to my trainer, Body by Q.
Body by Q, you know what I'm saying?
Queenie whooped my butt in her boot camp prior to COVID. But, I always try to like join those things and at least do something active. On top of that, I love sports. So like I will force my daughter to go and play sports with me outside. Like I have all the balls, the soccer balls, basketballs. Like I love playing ball. So it's like, like simple things like that, like just getting cardio in and like running ball for like 30 minutes. Like it's a huge difference. Like just being active. Like you just gotta be outside.
You gotta be outside. We outside. Well, catch me outside.
Catch me outside.
That was a Muva Cass lyric as well. You know what I'm saying? But I like that even as someone who's accredited as like someone in fitness and training, like you will still go to someone else's training class. I think that's dope, you know?
For sure. Like as much I know I can do it myself and I've always done it independently on my own. I feel like, as a mom, it's like I found it so much harder after like I have to have some sort of guidance there to keep me pushing, Do
you ever like write like HIIT programs? Like can you ever just like be like, today I'm going to do 5 sets of this. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you ever like formulate it because you have that knowledge? That's sick. You should make me like a couple at-home workouts, please.
I've done that before.
I have a kettlebell.
For myself, I've done it. And when I was planning to be a fitness trainer before I took music seriously, I was like starting off my journey where I was training women and, started off with my close group of friends. And then, I was really like actually wanted to do holistic nutrition and personal fitness training. But then, like I said, when the pandemic hit, I kind of did an ultimatum where it's like, do I want to keep running my business and doing, Muva Nutrition, which was my business before? Yeah, you
had like Muva Fit, wasn't it? Like Fit Cass, like I don't know.
It was a fitness, but the main thing about it was my homemade baked goods, my allergen-free organic baked goods. That was like what I was mainly pushing, and my recipes. So I did have my website with my recipes on there. And then eventually I wanted to get into the training thing when I got my certification and stuff like that. But I was just like, I love it. I love health and wellness. Like that's always going to be a part of my life. And I always love advising people because like I have that knowledge. I still, have my textbooks at home from school. I literally have everything still. I always stay up to date. I follow those things on Instagram. So, I just consider it my lifestyle more than my job.
Yeah, I feel that. And I feel like as much as it is good to have like a career in something you love, it's good to have stuff that you love that doesn't have to be career. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to go, I don't know, play ping pong. Like, I don't want to have to like train to be a ping pong player all the time or like have to teach people. It's like,
a hobby.
Yeah, like something I can just enjoy for itself.
Like, I'm always down to play sports anytime. Like, it's just like, I just don't catch me on the days where I have my ratchet nails on because then I can't play. But
any sport? Like, okay, so you're saying ball is one of your sports. Volleyball too?
Yeah, volleyball.
Okay, those are the two main ones, and then you do what, cross country? Like,
I haven't ran in a long time. Like I used to run long distance before I had kids.
You look like you could do like gymnastics, especially because like you dance and stuff. Like,
my daughter always tries to challenge me because she's like a rubber band. Like she's so flexible. She's like self-taught gymnast. Like it's crazy. She can flip, do all these crazy.
It's a crazy athletic sport,
but. No, like I don't know. I just always loved sports and like being active. Like that's always been a part of me. So like it's not gonna change. It's just not as much as it used to be. That's for sure.
Okay. Yo, so I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions. Who are your favorite artists to work with in the city besides me?
Besides you?
Yeah.
All right. For sure. Well, shout out Bugs. That's my dogs. Foreign Wave.
Foreign Wave,
That's my homie.
Big up both of those
We have some stuff in the works, but our schedules never align. But of course, I want to do a track with Bugs.
They will align. Dog. They will align, inshallah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I support his music videos. I always pull up to his stuff, even if I'm behind the scenes. Like that's one go-getter that I definitely want to make a banger with. Who else would I say? Of course, No Given Drake. Like, who wouldn't want to make a track with the Sixth God?
Jeez.
Muva Cass and Drake was so crazy.
Whoa.
But
Muva Cass and Champagne Poppy. Like, there's already that similarity right there. You know what I'm saying?
Who else would I do a track with in Toronto? Like, definitely, I would say Smiley, the trendiness, just the fun flow. Like, you know, he's overall a cool person too. So like, I would definitely do something with him. Like, he's just like a
Yo,
fun
you know
vibe.
who I can see you making a song with? Who's that Latina Toronto girl? And it's like your fave Latina. What's her name? She's like Argentinian. She's from Toronto and like
Mala?
I don't know her name still. Like
That's my girl Mala. If you're talking about Mala, she's half Argentine and half Filipina.
I don't know. She has
Mala
blue
6.
eyes.
Oh, I don't know who that
No,
is.
okay. I guess whatever.
To be honest, I don't like. I know of female artists in Toronto, but you know, for the most part, I'm in my own lane. Not that I wouldn't work with. Not that I wouldn't work with
For
them.
the most part, I'm in my own lane.
Like, you know, of course we know of each other. Like, Toronto's small at the end of the day. Everybody knows everyone somehow. But I would never shoot down the opportunity to work with a female artist.
I'm just in my own lane. I'm just in my own lane.
Girl power, female empowerment all the way. But definitely,
But I'm just in my own lane kind of thing.
I feel like Toronto has become very like competitive and like oversaturated where people don't really work with people like that, you know? But like there is a handful of artists out there that I would definitely love to work with. Like even songwriters out of Toronto. There's so many talented writers that are like on their grind and don't get enough credit. Like, of course I would love to work with those people, you know?
I appreciate that. Like that's very nice of you to say about me.
Of course you. What are you
Great
talking
writers.
about?
Chill,
Like, there's
chill.
so
Don't
much
gas me right
talent
now.
in the six. There's so much talent, and like, you know, RIP to the people that passed away and, you know, weren't able to make it as far. But, you know, there's a lot of those artists too that I would have loved to work with if they were still here. Like, for sure, Bully, I would love to work with, you know, he repping Malvern. Like, he's one of my favorite male artists that I still bump, even though he's not here. Like, there's so many talented male and female artists in Toronto, and like I think we need to start coming together more, you know, and like, you know, of course everyone wants to make it out and be in their own lane, but you know, you got to give credit where it's due. There's a lot of artists that do more than just make music. Like, people don't know there's artists out here that like direct and like songwrite and are also dancers on top of that, like, you know.
No, real talk.
I would love to work with so many people in the six, but you know, right now I think focusing on my career. If people reach out, of course I'd be down to work. But you know, I've been networking out of Toronto, and I think that has been like benefiting me more.
Okay. So I got a little rapid fire round. I don't know how to say rapid fire in Spanish, but la fuego rápido, you know what I'm saying?
Fuego rápido.
So I'm gonna just give you options. Just shoot me the first answer that comes to your head. Drake or Kanye?
Shit. Drake.
Blunt or spliff?
Blunt.
The most compatible astrology sign you get along with?
Aquarius, because it's me.
Least compatible astrology sign you get along with?
It's funny. It's supposed to be Cancer. But I would honestly probably say Capricorn I don't get along with.
Say word.
Yeah.
Okay. Ideal age difference, older or younger?
Older.
But like, what's the number? Like what? Like I thought you were gonna be like, you know, 2 years younger or like 5 years old. Like what's like that gap?
Honestly, if we're going younger, I wouldn't do 2 years, like past 2 years younger than me. If older,
Sky's the limit. No, I'm joking.
the cap would probably be like 40. Okay, I wouldn't go older than 40. I'm not gonna, but I know a lot of older people, so I'm like kind of used to the being around older people like that.
Plus, you're mature still. Like you, I feel like you're mentally like wiser, older than most people
yeah,
our
a lot of
age.
people say that. Like a lot of people in the 30s and 40s that I'm around, when they first met me, like they're like, I wouldn't have thought you were your age. I'm like, well, good.
You have that vibe. You have that vibe where it's like, yo, this girl's seen some things. Like she,
I see some shit.
She sees some shit.
I've been through
she
some
ain't
shit.
brand new. Like she's a little older. Like not old though. Okay. Iced or hot coffee?
Iced.
Sugar or stevia?
Sugar, but I don't recommend.
Weights or calisthenics?
Ooh, that's hard. I'd probably say weights.
Why? Is it because like there's just like I feel like with weights you have more potential and opportunities. Like you can kind of track your progress, but I don't know, man. Push-ups go hard too.
I do. I like using my own weight too, but I don't know. It's hard.
If you had to stick with one, because I feel like, if you get good at calisthenics, you'll be good at but because when they close the gyms, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, for sure. And I'm the type of person that always like improvise before I like built my own little home gym back in the day. So yeah, definitely gonna say calisthenics over weights.
Okay, favorite food spot in Scarborough, and then Toronto for the next one.
Ooh, that's hard.
That's tough. Still, I don't even know what mine would be.
Okay,
still.
I would say 2 for Scarborough. I would say Shawarma Bros.
Shawarma Bros.
I love shawarma. I love it. It's so great. Extra turnip and everything.
Extra turnip. Okay, turnip is 6. Like,
and I would probably say this Thai spot. It's like in Bern, basically. I would say Mr. Burger, but it's not there no more.
Low-key, Tamil Mans make the best Thai food. I'm just putting that out there. Like, I don't know what it is. That's just a side note.
It would be Mr. Burger if it was still there, but it's gone now. That's the neighborhood joint in Malvern. Like, everybody used to get poutine from Mr. Burger. Used to walk there. Used to leave school to go there. But it's not there anymore. R.I.P. Mr. Burger.
R.I.P. Mr. Burger. Still, I didn't know about it like that.
It's right in Crow Trail. Like, everyone used to go there. That would be my spot if it was still here.
Okay. Well, what you got coming up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what in terms of, projects? I know, like, it's kind of a hectic time. We all just trying to survive, and I know, you have a lot of like responsibilities, obligations. But from an artistic perspective, from a musical perspective, like, what are you working on? Are you like working on a project? Are you, doing bare choreography? Like,
this would be a perfect time to announce about my project.
Ooh, what?
It's coming. Exclusivo.
Exclusiva Borough Sound.
I do have a project coming.
Wow.
I don't have an exact date yet. Stuff is still in the works when it comes to clearing stuff. But it's called Prosperity Pathway.
Prosperity Pathway.
Yep.
Okay. What's behind the name?
So that's actually the street that I grew up and came up in when I was adopted and came to Toronto.
Prosperity.
The Prosperity Pathway, which is crazy because like when I was like building the album and, kind of brainstorming everything, I've went through so many different, titles, and I'm just like, it's not sticking. And then I took a walk in Malvern and I passed by my old block and I was like, Prosperity Pathway.
It does have like a sick ring to it, like, and it looks good too.
And it was just like kind of like it hit me because I was like in the element of just like I want prosperity and I'm on this journey right now in my life where it's definitely it just ties into the whole story of the whole album and like the way the soundtrack goes, and it's just a very grounding moment when I realized like Prosperity Pathway, like I want prosperity and all those things in my life. And a pathway is a journey. Like you're on a journey in life all day. And, I took that walk on Prosperity Pathway and I was like, this is going to be the title of my album. And then,
that's dope. That's actually super dope.
I showed my team and they're like, bro, that's a sick title now. And
I like it.
And then, like the storytelling of all the tracks, just in line of Prosperity Pathway, it all just glues and pieces together so perfectly.
Do those lyrics like explore times of your life when you were like in those ends, like on Prosperity Pathway? Like, do your lyrics kind of touch on those parts of your life as well?
Yeah.
Is it like a kind of like a blast from the past, and then also like
yeah, for sure.
Structure?
So like some of the songs were newly written, but then there are stuff, like I said, that I've had from my past that I've written in journals that I've turned into songs. And this is really gonna push the rapper side to me. Like a lot of people have always
don't know Muva Cass has bars, bro. Like I've witnessed it. Still, I've witnessed it.
He's witnessed the freestyles.
I've witnessed the bars, bro. They're there. They're honestly there.
Yeah, and I think now is the perfect time to really push that side of my artistry. Like I feel like as a female, a lot of people always ask me like, so what are you more, like an R&B singer or are you a rapper? And I'm just like, oh, why can't I be both? Like
yeah.
So this project is definitely going to show that side of me more. Like it's gonna start off with rap music and then tie into the R&B and slow down. So and there are gonna be features on there. And, it's just really also, tying into my Latina roots, like incorporating Latin sound in there and, just really a bunch of different crazy sounds. Like I love all types of music, like I want to eventually incorporate rock and all of those other genres, So I think this project is really going to like get the ball rolling in terms of like how I really want to push myself as an artist and not just stick to being a singer.
No, and people don't know because I do believe you can do every genre because people don't know Muva Cass does not need auto-tune, bro. Like as someone who has engineered many people, some people live and die by auto-tune. She actually barely needs it, bro. Like it's really good it's refreshing to have vocalists who are actually on pitch in key, It's crazy to say that now, but with most people, it's like everyone's off key. They want the auto-tune to fix it. But I do believe you can do like you're versatile and skilled enough to do every genre.
So it's been a decade journey. It's been like over 10 years of like, doing music. Like
you definitely put like 10,000 hours in for sure.
Yeah, like to see like how much I progressed. Like me and Dubs have bumped stuff from back in the day that we first recorded. I'm like, look how far we've come. I used to suck at harmonizing. I used to hate, like, I was so like just insecure about my voice in general in the very beginning years ago, So it's like, it's like that anticipation and like that hard work and dedication. And like people don't understand the hours that's put behind the records and like being an artist. Like you really have to work at your craft every single day to perfect it. Like I would not freestyle 10 years ago. I would definitely not be able to like write a song in like 30 minutes the way I can now in a studio session or like do things on the spot, So it's like it took a long time to get where I'm at now and get comfortable with my sound and like sit in like the confidence of like who I am as a woman. I think too, it's just finding myself. Like there's so many times where I said I was going to do music in the past and I just was not ready because like I just didn't know who I was, So now it's go time. Now we're about to drop this project soon, and I do have a single coming out, City Girls.
Ooh, okay. So when's that coming out?
It's coming out soon. It's just, I want to perfect everything. Like, I don't have management. I am literally...
You are management, bro.
I am management.
Yeah.
Thanks, management. Contact management is me. You know me. I don't have a manager, I do have a marketing team and stuff like that out in LA and Miami, but for the most part, like it's just taking my time and making sure that everything's like planned ahead. And like, I used to just throw out singles and stuff like that, but now I just really want to take my time because I want to, do things right before I drop this album. So I do have a single coming out, City Girls.
Okay.
And it's been shot by friends in the East, Dizzy De Niro. We flew out to Vancouver to do the video. So there's a video for it.
Okay. What?
It's honestly probably one of my favorite songs, I would say, that I've written in the past year. Like, definitely like a woman empowerment song. For sure. Like this is definitely representing like girls in the East End and in Toronto, like, just bigging up all of the entrepreneurs and artists out here who are just like literally busting our asses.
Yo, real talk. Honestly, first of all, thank you for coming. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason why I wanted to have you is because honestly, like not even just the music or the dancing, but how you handle yourself like as a woman, as a mother. Even to me as someone who's like, I don't have no youths or nothing, but like I can admire that and I see like how hard you work, how like you're on point and like, no matter what, like you make it happen. And I think a lot of people will gravitate towards that. And it's good that you're being transparent. I'm excited for the single. I'm excited for Prosperity Pathway, you know what I'm saying? And, one friend to another. Yo, thank you for coming.
Yes. Of course. And I'm so happy you have me here. And, it's good. It's good to start like putting myself out there more and not just my music, like doing podcasts and interviews. Like I'm a social butterfly.
Yeah.
So I love doing these things and I need to get used to it because I used to be like the most shy person, which makes no sense to me now because I'm like, I can't shut the hell up sometimes. Yeah.
We got to get that. I told Muva Cass, like, you need a podcast, the Muva Cast. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like people do need to see more of your personality. I think you're low key mad funny, and like I think people will like it'll draw people towards the music too. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you. Speaking of social butterfly, shout out your socials. Where can people find you?
Yes, so Instagram and Facebook is at Muva Cass, MuvaCass. Also on all streaming platforms, Muva Cass.
Okay, and thank you for tuning to the Borough Sound Back 2021, last and first episode of 2021. We're going to have so much more 2022. Stay tuned. Hit up Borough Sound TV if you want any sponsorships or any collaborations, you know what I'm saying? And enjoy yourself. Take care.
Yes.